John, hope you're doing well. FA Cup comes to a conclusion tonight. Well, the tie between West Ham and Bristol City comes to a conclusion. I'm joined again by Matthew from Three Peeps in our podcast. Before we get into the game itself, Matthew, I have to say, well done. You predicted 1-1. You predicted Bowen to score, and you predicted Tommy Conway to score. I just hope you had a few quid on that.
Do you know I didn't? Yeah, I didn't. What an idiot, wasn't it? But yeah, I was spot on with that, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was. After the game, I was not very happy with the outcome of the match. Yeah. And then a couple of people in the review said, "Hey, did that Bristol City fan not get everything bang on?" I thought, "Hang on, he did as well," which got me even more annoyed.
Sorry.
Anyway, what did you make of the first game at the London Stadium?
First time being at the London Stadium, I absolutely loved it. I managed to get sort of corporate tickets, so we were on the halfway line. Sat with some great West Ham fans, I've got to say. And early doors, certainly when Paqueta put that ball over and Bowen finished like he did, I thought we were in for a long afternoon. I really, at that stage, I thought it could be a bit of a cricket score. And then obviously we kind of got a foothold in. Absolutely, the injuries helped us to get, that can't be denied. And then the second half, I thought we played really well and certainly deserved to come away with the replay, which, as I said on the last podcast, was kind of as much as I'd hoped for. But I think my overriding feeling, Jay, was how impressed I was with Bowen. I could not believe the speed of the guy, and the touch for his goal was outstanding. So, yeah, it was brilliant day out. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, looking forward to tonight.
I thought in the first half, not so much second half, but the first half, I thought your boys roughed our ones up a little bit, and it was almost like a intimidating and bullying tactics going on. Is that something? First of all, you're nodding, which is good because that means you agree with me.
I'm kind of not.
Go on then. Go on.
And so, the Paqueta was obviously just an injury that he was already carrying. I think there was one challenge by Cameron Pring, our left back, where he challenged for a ball in the air, and I don't know if it was against Soufal or
it was
but kind of went down. And the guy that was sat behind me was saying, "Oh, you're a bit physical," and we're really not. That just isn't in our makeup. We've been, as fans, crying out for us to be physical, and we're really not like that. And I kind of said to him, I wondered whether the Premier League sort of elite were a bit like cheesy Watsits, and every time they had a challenge, they kind of went down. But I genuinely, and I'm not a biased fan, I didn't think we roughed you up at all. I just thought that we were up for it. A couple of challenges went in, and yeah, your boys didn't like it, but maybe that's the Championship fan in me, and we're not used to these Premier League players. Yeah.
What about Conway's challenge on Manfrepanos then?
So I haven't seen that back at the time when it was in front of us on the halfway line. I genuinely thought he slipped. And Tommy Conway absolutely isn't that sort of player. He's just not he's not really an overly physical player, and he's not got that in his makeup as an individual. So I genuinely at the time thought he slipped and was really surprised he got a booking. And the booking was delayed from memory. Yeah. So I think the ref probably had something in his ear that said, actually, But as I said, to be fair to you, I've not watched that back. I haven't seen that back.
So overall, happy with Liam Manning's tactics and the performance of the players, and you came away a delighted Bristol City fan?
Absolutely. And on the back of the sort of two previous games that we'd had against Birmingham and Millwall, and then subsequently the game that we had on Saturday against Preston, that performance was chalk and cheese to those three performances. Yeah, it was, I think, probably because West Ham play football, they want to attack. You'd expect that from a home team and a Premier League team. But we were able to kind of get the ball down, and there was space as well. So yeah, I think every Bristol City fan left were really happy. But you also think, have we missed our chance now? Was that the one chance that we had, kind of thing?
Yeah, fair play to your fans. Made a lot of noise as well. Great following you had there. At the weekend, like you said, lost against Preston, and it sounds like you're saying it was sort of back to normal, if you like, for your team. But as West Ham fans, we're looking at it going, well, what's going on here? Was it just like your best performance of the season when you played us, or what?
The second half, absolutely. Yes, it was. I think that the problem we're struggling with at the moment, and any team that sort of plays a low block, and sit in and give us the possession, we struggle to open these teams up. And if we don't take sort of early chances, and we did have a couple on Saturday against Preston, we're then always susceptible. Liam Manning talked about what he's trying to get the players to do and a different style of playing. And they've got so many things that he wants them to kind of pick up on that maybe they've been overloaded a little bit. But I think he's covering his players. It was just a poor performance Saturday. But again, as I say, followed on from 2 other poor performances in the league. So this probably comes at a good time. And, you know, some of our fans were talking about, well, were players saving themselves for tonight? And at our level, I don't believe that comes into it, and not at the 3rd round. And with every respect to West Ham, not 3rd round against West Ham. You know, you might do that if it was a semi-final cup scenario. So, yeah, it's the Sunday game was very much not in keeping with the way that we've played those 2 previous, and then subsequently this game.
Well, looking ahead to tonight, then, I mean, has this game got harder for you in the sense that West Ham now know your tactics? We can probably employ a bit more of a low block. You know, under Moyes, we traditionally play like that in the Premier League, but against, like you said, against yourselves, the onus is on us to attack you a little bit. Or has it got easier for you in the sense you're now at home and you've got the big support, and I assume the fans are up for it, and there's a bit of a buzz ahead of tonight's game?
Yeah, there will be a buzz. We kind of reciprocated the ticket prices, and we've kept our home prices cheaper than normal match day prices. So I think the fans definitely will be up for it. I don't know, as a Premier League team, I don't know that you necessarily will sit in. And I think when you've got players of the like of James Ward-Prowse, you know, he's going to want to get on the ball and open things up. For us, our home record isn't brilliant, and our fans can easily get frustrated. But I think, again, it's slightly different in the cup and slightly different when you're playing a team like West Ham. So it will be interesting to see the tactics that David Moyes does deploy, because I think, yeah, if you set up, you know, in that format, we're going to struggle to break you down because you're far better than Preston, Millwall, or Birmingham, and we didn't score a goal against either of those 3 sides. So, you know, I'm hoping that you do come out and that there is space to play in, and yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm in 2 minds as to how we're going to approach this one, because obviously we're missing our front line. Caduceus at the African Nations, we're missing Bowen, Paqueta's injured, Antonio's injured. So we're unsure as to how we're going to line up. We've still got Benrahma and Fanals, Ings, Mubama. We've still got good players on the training ground, but they're not really doing that when it comes to match day. They're out of form at the minute. They're low in confidence. So we're going to be fielding a very weak attack from that point of view. Whereas, you know, Conway tonight might be rubbing his hands because he's in decent nick this season anyway, but he scored against us. Well, had the ball in back net twice against us. So he might be thinking, oh, I can get a little bit of joy against this defence. I can beat that goalkeeper. Whereas our players aren't thinking that tonight. Our players are thinking, can something just fall for me? So I'm in 2 minds as to how Moyes is going to approach this. But I actually think we might see what we've done in European football in the last 3 seasons, especially the group stages. When we got to the knockouts, particularly in the Europa League, we came up against Sevilla and Lyon, who came at us, and that helped us because we could play counter-attacking football.
Yeah.
Conference League was a bit different because the standard was lesser, and it was similar to the group stages, which was we were the better side. But I often felt we were quite professional, which was make no mistakes and we can't lose. You know, let's try and get a clean sheet, and if we can get a goal or 2 here, that will be all right. And it has worked for us. And sometimes it's not been the best to watch, but it's been very effective. And I think tonight we might see something similar, which is I wouldn't be surprised if Moyes was annoyed that we conceded a goal from having a high line, because it's traditionally something we always do. So he's probably thinking, "This, I don't like doing high lines. I've got one here. You've exposed it. And it's not really how I want to play." But I think Mavropanos going off was a bigger miss as the attackers, actually. But he should be okay for tonight. So I think that'll play. So I expect West Ham to be a bit of fast and furious at the start, Matthew. I think the first 15 minutes we'll try and get a goal. And if we can, then now we can sit back and play counter-attacking football. If you can get it to 0-0 at half-time, that's when I'll worry, because we are usually pretty crap in the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half. Don't know why. We're just rubbish in the first 15 minutes second half. So when you came out and came at us, it wasn't a surprise. And it was not pleasant to watch. Obviously, since we spoke, we've had the FA Cup fourth round, which is at home to the
Yep.
winners of Nottingham Forest, Blackpool. Are you happy with that draw?
Yep.
I know you don't worry about disclaimer. If
Yeah,
you get that, are you happy with that draw? If you
yeah,
go through?
yeah. I guess it's a home draw, potentially against another Premier League team, albeit that not necessarily one that you would class as a glamorous one this day and age. And that's again, I don't mean disrespect to Notts Forest there. Blackpool are a good side. I think Blackpool beat Nottingham Forest at this stage last season, so that won't be easy. I think probably you just hope for a home draw. If you're not getting one of the big boys, you hope for a home draw. So, yes, if we were to get through, then yeah, the home draw is probably the key thing.
Yeah, I am as well. It's motivating me more for tonight. If we came out and it was like, oh, Man City away, I was thinking, well, if we go out, I'm not that bothered all of a sudden. But maybe not for you. Because you're like, hey, City away, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's different for us. We're not used to that.
So since when it was Blackpool or Nottingham Forest, I was like, hello, I fancy your chances against either of those sides, actually. So, it's got me a bit more eager to win tonight. How are you feeling? You got a bit of confidence in you? Or?
I think yes, I have. I'm not going to sit here and say I think we're going to win it. I said on our local radio station last night, I could see it potentially going extra time and penalties, as we know, is a lottery. So I could see that. We don't tend to score early. So that will be interesting to see again as the game develops how kind of we react to whatever you do. Certainly, as fans, I think because those that were there were so impressed with Paqueta and Bowen that we're happy that they're not playing from that point of view, but also you want to see good players, and I took away just how impressed I was with those two in particular. I have to say as well, and it was interesting. I think we spoke about it, but I was chatting to a West Ham fan at the game about Danny Ings, and when Danny Ings came on, he actually did pretty well. He kind of opened things up a little bit. So I don't know what I was expecting when he came on, and then I was a little bit shocked and thought, hang on, he's done okay here, apart from probably the chance that he missed in the second half. So yeah, it's interesting. I think we're going there confident. We're not overconfident at all. We know we're up against a very, very good team, and we have to be at the top of our game with 7, 8, 9 of our players playing above a normal championship level, and hope that you're off a little bit. And if you are, then you never know. But it's all about taking chances. As I say, we played Watford on Boxing Day and took the chances we had. We won the game 4-1. I think 4-1, yeah. But the games against Preston, we didn't. So it will be interesting to see. We've lost, or we've sold, let go Andy Vyman to West Bromwich Albion yesterday. And he wasn't featuring as a starter, but would certainly have been in the squad. We have signed a replacement in Scott Twine, but he's cup tied. So we'll probably have the same team that we had on the Sunday. And yeah, as I say, all things being equal, I'm expecting a really tough game.
Sorry to interrupt. Why do I recognise that name, Twine? Was he?
So he was. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. So he was at Swindon.
Just like a big young player, weren't he?
Yeah, did really, really well at MK Dons under Liam Manning for a season, and then got a big for him $4 million move to Burnley. Got into the Premier League with Burnley, but had a sort of bad injury, I think, in the first when he was in the Championship, but wasn't really featuring. So he's been on loan at Hull this season. And we then sort of approached Burnley. They've recalled him from loan at Hull, even though he was playing. So I'm assuming that Twine had a say in that. And he's now with us till the end of the season. So he's the kind of creative player that we're missing at the moment, we hope. But as I say, he's cup tied tonight, so won't be featuring tonight.
Yeah, interesting. Didn't know you signed him. And like I said, I certainly recall his name from a couple of seasons ago. He's been tipped as sort of scored shed loads of goals at MK Dons.
Yeah, he did.
Was he not like he was like Frank Lampard numbers for?
It was ridiculous assists and goals. Yeah, really good. And as we all know, Jays, it's the level he was at there that he's done that. He's now got to do it at a higher level, and he's not yet done that consistently in the Championship. We're just hoping that Liam Manning can get the best out of him. So yeah.
Anyway, you've said you wouldn't be surprised if it goes to extra time and penalties, but that does not necessarily mean a prediction. So put your hopes to one side, and I want your prediction, crystal ball time, because I'll be honest with you, whatever you say, I'm putting money on tonight. No pressure, Matthew. Come on, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I am going to go 1-1 full time, and extra time in, and us to win it on penalties because of being at home. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for.
And your goal scorers, come on! I want the same thing as
Tommy Conway again, and I'll go James Ward-Prowse for you.
Okay. I also think it'll be 1-1. I think we'll do it in extra time though, but I also think it's going to go beyond the 90 minutes. And Gonzo, my co-host, when we did the preview, he thinks you're going to win it tonight. There's not much confidence oozing out of this. And obviously, we uploaded our preview yesterday. I've been reading the subscribers' comments. There's not a lot of optimism in there either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sort of fear in the worst, and I think it's just because we've lost Bristol Bowen in particular.
Exactly.
And there's lack of faith in the other players coming in. So you've got a chance, because if you play like you did it last week and you get into players' faces, if you do that to the likes of Ben Rama, he'll go missing quick. Very quickly. Very quickly you'll find Saeed Ben Rama will say, actually, I don't fancy this one. I've seen him bottle 60-40s in his favour. Where he goes, I don't know, I'm all right with this one, thank you. So yeah, it's just a lot of nerves on the West Ham side of things. This one, so
I think we possibly surprised. Well, I don't think possibly. I think we did definitely surprise a lot of West Ham fans with how well we played.
Yeah.
When we left the ground and walked back to the car park, we stopped off in a little bar that sort of did pizza and stuff, and we were chatting to some proper old school West Ham fans. Have been sort of season ticket holders for 40 years and stuff. And it was brilliant. I mean, again, the atmosphere, the way we weren't treated like, the little club coming up to their big day out. These were genuine football fans, and we could have a really good sort of discussion. And they said exactly that. They thought that you might not be up for it. And therefore us coming back, we might get a result. But as I say, all things being equal, G, if you turn up, you'll win the game. We've really got to be at top form. And aside from your game over the last month, it was only really the Watford game which was the outlier. We've not been great. So yeah, we really need to perform if we're going to get anything.
Well, Matthew, thank you very much. Congratulations on getting your prediction right the first time round, but I hope you've got it wrong this time. That's what we'll see. If you want to hear and see more from Matthew, the link to the podcast, Three Peeps in a Podcast, is in the description below. Matthew, thank you very much again. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammer Chat. We are live tonight at 6:40 on this channel with our own build-up show. Sack off the BBC. Come and join the West Ham fans and get involved in the live chat ahead of tonight's game, where we'll take a look at West Ham team, the Bristol City team, and see what you guys are thinking in the live chat. But until then, look after yourself, and I'll see you in a bit.